I'm kind of horny today. No, I'm not. I just have one on my head here. Ooh. I covered this with salt. Anyway, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob. Remember, everything I say, don't believe. Remember, this is only for your entertainment. Remember, don't believe anything I say, but have an open mind. So I'm out of the basement. I come up a few staircases to where there's a window. And it's sunny, but it's definitely cold out there. It's about 14 degrees. And it's going to get a little bit warmer towards Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Might get a little rain, which would be good if it stayed a little that 20 above freezing and rained. The snow would go away. But coming Saturday night, Sunday, there's going to be this historical cold coming down here, and it's going to be like right now. It's 14 degrees out there, right? Fahrenheit. So 32 is freezing. So 14 is like 15 degrees below freezing water, right? Now, as of Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it's going to be close to minus 20. And Saturday night, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is supposed to have not only really, and it's supposed to get even colder than that, but it's supposed to have a wind chill of 20 miles an hour, which would make it close to 60, minus 60 degrees, meaning 60 degrees Fahrenheit below freezing. And that's just here in this neck of the woods, a little further west. Oh man, Florida, California, Port California is going to be in the 70 degrees. And because of this amazing cold thing, there's going to be, the Santa Ana winds are still going to be whoop-de-doo. So what do you guys think? Does anybody, well, let's first of all, let us go to live chat so you guys can say stuff. So what do you think about those fires in California? I was watching, let's see if I can get this up here. I was watching this thing. They lied to you.
Melania has been around much more. We've seen a lot of her. Do you know why? It's because Jeff Bezos has commissioned a $40 million documentary about Melania.
Ooh.
Happy wife, happy life, as the old saying goes. I guess Jeff Bezos and Donald Trump had a bit of a chat. A tete-a-tete. Bezos shared with the Donald, "This is what I do to coo into the Lady Sanchez's ear to keep her happy. What can I do to keep the Princess Melania smiling for you, Donald?"
And so that's what going on with our politics, and yet 3/4 of the United States is going to be colder than it ever has been historically in the last 100 years, give or take. Now, if our rickety old utility system, especially in Texas, because Texas's electric system is worse than what Puerto Rico. I mean, Puerto Rico, that big hurricane hits Puerto Rico, devastates the transmission lines, which were state-run, and Donald Trump gets his good buddy from Texas to come in and take it over privately. And it's, that was, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago. It's worse off now. They still don't have electricity. So it's, just imagine that to happen to Texas. And like I said, their grid is worse off, right? Because it's way bigger and it's more diverse. It's like having, Texans are so independent and so, I'm exceptional. So we have in Texas, 20 or 30 different little grids that feed into the big grid, and they don't play nice with each other. And I don't know how many years ago it was. It was, again, a cold snap like this, and everyone turned, because they don't really have heat in Texas. So they turned on their electric heaters, and then they nearly blew out everything. Like they came, seconds to having a nuclear reactor, boil up and go critical. But someone was smart enough to start shedding the loads, and everyone started screaming about that. But at least, Texas didn't go up in a radioactive cloud like Japan did, right? And the Fukushima reactors that went up, they weren't nuclear explosions. What happened was the power went out, and then the backup power didn't work. And so the pumps that were needed to keep the core cool, because they had gotten it to a shutdown, but there was nothing pumping over the core. And so it physically melted down. And it got so hot, the water that was there was instantly blanched into hydrogen and oxygen, basically the Challenger explosion. And we saw those things, the tops of the buildings blew up, and all the radioactivity was spattered all over the place. Now, the Chernobyl one was mediated not by water, but by graphite, right? And, graphite is like coal, basically. And so they had a zillion tons of that stuff, got really hot, caught fire. They couldn't put out the fire. And so all of that was shedding radioactive isotopes all over, not just Russia, but all over Europe. And what was, if you look at the statistics of the level of cancer then and the level of cancer now, it's like off the charts. They don't even really talk about it, but it's, woo. So we have all this kind of interesting stuff going on. And what are we talking about? We're talking about
the Princess Melania smiling for you, Donald. And so, what could you give a woman who has it all but a documentary about her accomplishments, which are nothing? I suppose pulling up Jackie Kennedy's Rose Garden. 10 days to go, and the retribution will begin. But of course, you'd have to be blind to realize the retribution has already begun. The fires in California are the worst disaster in the history of America's largest state. And when it's all over, they will be the biggest natural disaster in American history. There are going to be recriminations but let's be clear, when the President of the United States is calling the governor of the state in the earliest hours of the crisis, Governor News scum, he's rooting for chaos. He's rooting for failure. What type of sick person looks at the flames, appreciates this is the 7th largest economy in the world, and that the country cannot succeed?
I love it. I love it. It's called Karma's a Bitch. The United States has, since Christopher Columbus, has been killing the indigenous people and just fouling. You're not supposed to crap in your nest, and that's all we do. So, what do you guys think? What's your take on it? What's going on in your neighborhood? How are you feeling about stuff? Let's see if we can.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Hare. Hey, we're live on the internet TV show, Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Al Bob and my good friend. What do you want to be called?
I cannot go with motherfucker because it's a live show. It's a family-oriented show.
It's a family show.
Huh?
We could call you MF.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay, MF.
All right, so what's going on? So we are live?
Yeah, we're live, right. So, and we're talking about what do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think?
Oh, man. I smoked so much hashish last night, I don't think I can think straight.
Well, that's good.
That's good?
Yeah, it's better than our elected officials.
Well, at least I admit, right?
Right. You're honest.
Well, okay. Yeah, I'm honest. Okay, I'm honest, crook. Okay, so listen, I can report from Chicago. It's a beautiful day. There's no wind. There's a snowy day, really nice and snowy day. Very romantic. I'm holding my own hand. Wait just a second. It's not my hand. Oh, I'm sorry, man. It's not. Oh, never mind.
So one of our,
so what do I think? Oh my God!
so one of my cadre here says martial law shall be placed over all of America and never removed again. How about that?
Whoa! The reason being?
Where we are right now, politically, socially, environmentally, etc.
Well, do you think martial law could make things better?
What do you think? I mean, you tell them your experience of that.
All right, here's my experience, man. Democracy is not the best system there is. Because every MF, including this one, who knows nothing about almost anything, has a right to vote. Okay? So, democracy, and it's also kind of slow. And every delusional woman has a right to vote, and there's a lot of those there. So democracy as it is kind of slow. It's not working. So and the martial law, of course, would be, I think, even worse. I think it's almost like fascist state. It's like Germans did it in 30s, 40s.
Yeah, right. And they went from the most democratic government in Europe in 1933, the Weimar Republic, which was the only democracy in Germany, and that's why it was off the rails. And it went straight into Adolf Hitler and the National Socialist Party. And within months, they burnt the Capitol down and blamed the gays, the communists, and the Jews.
And those are popular people to blame. Yeah.
And so they had the Enabling Act, and basically it was very similar to the Patriot Act. And they went off to the races.
Yeah. I mean, Jews and gays and socialists and gypsies. Let's blame those people, and they're to blame for everything.
Yes.
So what I'm thinking, a God-fearing man that has some common sense would be the best idea. Theocracy, some form of theocracy. If you think about that, let's say Dubai, Brunei, they have those rich Muslim sheikhs, they're in charge, but people are doing pretty well. And, they are doing, like let's say in Saddam, during Saddam's regime, people did well.
Yeah, I know.
During Gaddafi's regime, they had a good life, man. As soon as you get married, you get a apartment. They give it to you for free.
A house, education, health care, a job. He took his. The thing they didn't like about him was that he basically drilled his own oil, built his own infrastructure, and sold his own oil on the market. He didn't go through like Exxon,
Oh, that's not good, man. We don't like that stuff.
Right. And he got paid in his own currency.
Yep.
And so
that's another thing we don't like.
Yeah,
double whammy.
Yep. And so his currency was actually worth evaluated way more. Then he took his infrastructure of oil well drilling technology, and he drilled really super deep wells for water and turned Libya into the greenest country in the Mideast. And they were making...
No, we don't like that, man.
And they were making more money selling those vegetables to Europe than they were on their oil. And the first thing that U.S. and NATO bombed were those water wells. Not the oil wells, because we wanted those, but the water wells.
Oh, so keep the people starved, keep them thirsty.
Yeah, thirsty and
they'll do anything.
Yep. So that's
holy schmuck. Well, I think your listeners are not aware of many things you are, and this might be a news to them, sir.
No kidding.
Yeah, man, because you are well read, and you have no horse in that race, so you can tell us it is.
And the other thing, I'm kind of like, when I was young, I was doing what you were doing, traveling the world. This guy is a world. What would we call you? A globe trotter?
Yeah, that would be the right. But you're making me blush now.
Okay, right. But I did it on the cheap. See, but he does it. This guy gets airplane tickets. Like, what are your tickets for your next trip? How much did you have to pay for those?
Yeah, well, I'm going to Kuala Lumpur round trip, $750.
Round trip?
Round trip, sir.
And if you put that, so I would be able to fly from New York City to Heathrow in London for $75 on Freddie Laker. And when I bought that ticket, I would get a Europass for $20 for
Good old times, man.
Right.
They're not coming back.
And I could get on any train, any subway, anything in the Euro transportation system. And you could, like, I rented apartments for a month or two in Paris for like $20 a week. I mean, an apartment, a house, a nice place, like in the working class part of Paris that had a nice market in the center and coffee shops and restaurants and stores, and which was so much better than where the tourists hung out.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't go to the touristy places, right?
Well, sorry to disappoint you, but I go there. But I also like to have solitude. I like to go hiking and doing things that are off the beaten track. Right. But I do more than I should go to tourist tourist destinations.
So what was your worst tourist experience?
My most, I was in Tenerife, Canary Islands a few months ago. And the British, they really make a bad name for themselves.
Yeah.
They go there and they really misbehave and they get drunk and disorderly. So in Tenerife, there was in Canary Islands, a big movement against those people. That's what it is.
Well, that's good. I mean, you can't be misconstrued as an English soccer hooligan. That's not you.
Yeah. Well, they like to drink. They like to have a good time, and they stick together and makes a bad scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what was I going to say? About something about traveling, but I already forgot.
Here, let me read what the cadre have said so far. Right. Let's see. They shall. Let's see. Martial law shall be placed over all America and never be removed again. I mean, we're already kind of there. They shall return to their kingdoms of Trump and shall tell America what you can receive, 32,000 electronic money only, but you must be branded. Let's see.
Branded.
Yeah. Like a.
It's like like wearing a armband. When you were Jew in Germany.
Right. Or a swastika, depending on what camp you're coming
from. Yeah. Really.
Right.
Oh.
Let's see what else they say.
Some of these people are out there, man.
Mm-hmm.
They are afraid the world is going to end. The immigrants are coming.
Right.
Muslims are coming. Asians are coming. Jews are coming. Blacks, Mexicans. Here, come on, man.
And those people have always been here. That's the thing. They've always been here.
Yeah. Well, you cannot live without him.
Let's see. I see you took my advice. Have a phone conversation. Yep. Have a great show, let's say. Today, about an hour ago, let's see. Prophecy came across. Jesus has shown up. Someone said they've seen Jesus. Let's see.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think I'm walking this cemetery. Maybe they saw me.
Yeah. This guy is. Tell the story of when you came and visited me in the Deep Green, and I came and got you in Asheville.
Well, when I came.
Yeah. What happened? You still there? Something happened.
Hello?
Yeah. Okay, you're back. Are you back? Are you there?
Oh, yeah, man. We had a good time, man. It was I didn't say we were wrong yet. But we had a good time. We were visiting restaurants and we were making a scene out of ourselves.
And we were not like the hooligan scene. We were like Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin.
Yeah, man. And all the girls wanted to ask see if we are married.
Right.
So, you know.
And no, they didn't care.
Huh?
They didn't care.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I was going to tell you a story about one of my travels, but now I...
Oh, tell me a story of... He's got a great queen, right? Keeps him in line. They're a great team.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a lucky so-and-so, that's for sure. He always complains.
So-and-so. I like that, man. You're cleaning up your act. I like that. So, if you were in private, you would tell me exactly what you mean, huh?
Right.
So anyhow, I want to invite your listeners
Right.
to Kumbh Mela. The reason I'm going to India this time is because there's this famous world festival. It's called Kumbh Mela, which I think literally means great fair.
Okay.
That's when those Indian gurus and holy men, they come from the Himalayas, from the mountains, from the caves. They come down there and preach their brand of God. So on every given day, there's a 3 or 4 million people in that spot. It's a madhouse. I mean, it's a madhouse. I've been around the block and I thought I was ready for that, but no. The stench, the heat, the humanity, what do you call that? Colors, sounds. You get a sensory overload and you just can't take too much. You just have to get away from that.
What's the difference between that and the Hajj?
Hajj is more orderly. There is a single-mindedness about Hajj. You have to go there to pray. That's all you do. Pray and visit holy sites. But this is a great fair. You have elephants. You have people coming to see the show.
Oh, it's like a circus.
It's like a circus, but not to that extent. But Hajj, you go there with one thing in mind, and there is no circus. You go there to be forgiven your sins and to give your soul to Allah.
So did you?
Kumbh Mela is it's a very different thing.
So did you? Did you go to the Hajj?
I have not been. I'm not ready. It's not my thing, man. You know that I don't go for those things. And besides, if you go to Hajj, you have to renounce a lot of things about this world. I mean, you really, if you want to be a good Haji, there's no lying, there's no cheating, there's no looking at the woman twice. Once you can look. And things like that. So it's not for me, man. I would be a hypocrite.
So that's what I like about him. He's not a hypocrite, right? And so what, if you want to, you can give the audience your YouTube show so they can look at all. See, he goes to all these places and makes videos. I have 2 channels. One is called To Shock, Amaze, and Amuse with a Z. And the other one is called Count Bliss, one word. So I have a bunch of videos from my travels. And that's what it is. And we met. Tell them where we met. Well, we met at the Rainbow Gathering. There's this gathering of like-minded souls. It's a hippie thing from the 60s and 70s where the guys from Vietnam and hippies and roadies, they got together and started, community. So we met there. And I met Al. We hit it off right there. We were like soul brothers. We were like, we were like brothers. We were like the Blues Brothers. I was like John Belushi and you were Dan Aykroyd. Or vice versa. I like that, man. Okay. Or vice. We kept switching. Sometimes he was John Belushi. Sometimes I was. We alternate, okay. So anyhow, I was going to tell your listeners about that Kumbh Mela. Okay, tell them. So every human being should go once in their lifetime to see that thing because it's just mind-boggling. You have about 20, 30 hospitals erected for that occasion only. You have another 20, 30 bridges built across Ganges River so that people can go to and from. And you have police stations, you have courts, you have everything built just for that occasion. So it's like a rainbow gathering.
Huh?
It's like a rainbow gathering.
Yeah, on steroids, times million.
Like times million.
So anyhow, this one happens every 12 years. There are other melas which are smaller every 3 or 6 or so years. I don't know exactly. But this one happens every 12 years, and this one happens in the city called Allahabad. Now, the city changed its name recently. They are reverting back to their original Hindu names, and Prajaraj or something, I forgot. But anyhow, if you Google Allahabad, it should pop up. So if you cannot make it this time, and I will be looking for you this time, it's in January, it's in February and March. If you cannot make it, the next 12 years you have to wait and get ready.
So that part of the planet is summertime right now, right?
It's so much what, sir?
I said that part of the planet is summertime right now.
Yes. And this is the future. India and China, these people are coming. You cannot stop them. This is the future.
Yep.
Vietnam, Cambodia, Korea, Japan.
So
That's
tell
the
me,
future, man.
tell me your experience in Vietnam and Cambodia.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Vietnam is one of my favorite countries in the world. It's these people have everything. Up there from the north, down to south, it's a completely different country. They have all kinds of fruits and vegetables, all kinds of climates. And the place is inundated with Russians. A lot of resorts. Their second language is Russian. It's not English or French or anything. It's Russian. And the Russians are there big time. Cambodia is a pretty country, but to me, Cambodia and Laos didn't have much to offer except very, very friendly people. Cambodia is nice down by the coast and Angkor Wat. That's about it.
So my take on those two people.
Huh?
See, my take on those two people. Vietnamese people are like the Irish of the Orient.
Well, I like that, man. Yes.
Because they are like poetic, artistic. They are the most partying animals I've ever seen. And the partying they do isn't like the English getting drunk and being stupid. They have a really good time. I don't think I've ever had more fun than going into what was the name of the place? What's the big city on the coast? Has a really nice beach.
Well, you're talking about for the Saigon?
No, the other one. The other one.
Hanoi?
No, that's up north. It's right in the south, but it's on the beach.
Oh, I cannot recall, man. I mean, they have funny names, so I cannot remember my own name.
Yeah, like Da Nang or anyway. It was just because everybody lived on a boat because it's right on the beach. They have an intercoastal, and then all of the rivers feed into that intercoastal, and everything is done on a boat. And
it might be the biggest. It might be the biggest fishing village in the world. That might be the place, but I cannot remember the name. But if that's the one, it's the biggest fishing village in the world.
And what I loved about these guys, I mean, America and France basically killed 20 million Vietnamese over a 30-year period. And when Americans go there, if you are open to listening to what they have to say, they love you.
Well, they call this American war. That's what they call it. And they already forgave Americans.
Right.
So they have no problem with that. Mm-hmm. And Vietnamese and Turkish are the most proud people you'll find.
Yep.
I mean, so this guy was coming around and cleaning people's shoes and trying to make a buck or two in tourist areas. So he comes by me, I wear slippers. Right. Say, can I clean your slippers? Come on, man, I don't clean my slippers. It's a piece of junk. So I was trying to give him $1 to get rid of him because he was insistent. Right. I said, he would try to give him $1. He looks at me. He says, sir, I don't want you $1. I want to earn $1. Right. So I was looking at this man. Man, what a freaking proud person. Mm-hmm. And this is special, man. And then these people, as you said, they know how to enjoy themselves. But To me, Koreans are number one in Asia when it comes to good time.
Oh yeah, the Koreans, especially Southern Koreans, the poor North Koreans have been so mind fucked. You know, it's sad.
Yeah, yeah, but South Korea is very cool.
Yep, they are very, very cool. But I was there when they had martial law, and that was very bizarre.
Yeah, well, recently they tried to introduce it again,
I know.
and the president they kicked the president out because he suggested the idea.
Right. Well, he tried to do it, not to suggest it. Right.
Oh, really? He actually did try?
Mm-hmm. And then people said, "Fuck off, asshole. We already went through this in the '80s." You know.
Yeah, mashallah. I said it's never. Well, they have it in Burma, Myanmar, whatever.
Yeah.
So drug trade is, drug business is booming, and all gangsters are coming back.
Yep.
Try that. It never works, man.
Yep. And the same thing with an African country where the army and the National Guard are fighting, and the only people dying are the innocent citizens.
It's always like that.
Sierra Leone, I think. Did you ever go to Sierra Leone?
Yeah. So I'm glad you're back on air, man. That's good.
Well, I'm here at the community center, and it has Wi-Fi. And I'd be frozen to death if I was down in the deep green.
Okay.
I mean, you've been there. The deep green is great spring, summer, and fall. And, you know, I used to leave by the 10th of December and come end of March. But now I gave everything away. I can't do that. So I'm here being the, what am I doing here? I'm like the camp counselor.
Is this glamping? It's like glamping, huh?
No. Sleeping on concrete isn't glamping.
Well, just a second. You're not sleeping on concrete, are you?
Kind of, yeah.
I thought they gave you some kind of
but it's still on concrete.
bed or something.
I have a 4-inch kind of beddy thing, but it's still on the floor. You try to get off the ground when you're only.
Oh my God! I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, sleeping not a problem. I mean, I can sleep on anything, anywhere. But getting up is another story.
So, how long are they going to put up with you?
No, it's the other way around. I'm doing everything that they don't want to do. So,
huh?
I mean, the cold here right now is minus 14 degrees without a wind chill. Coming Sunday, it's going to be minus 40 degrees. And when the wind chill is going to be something like minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So that means.
You're kidding me, man.
No. So the area that got wiped away, and that the people who survived, and when the Army Corps was here, they gave us 20 of these really nice Army tents that were about 20 by 20, and you could have a wood stove inside. Right.
Oh, interesting.
So we set them up for these people, and we set them up out of the way of the, where the water, if the water was, if it ever rained again like that, we set them about, 60 feet above that. And they couldn't drive their car there. They could drive their car to where it was 60 feet. So they didn't want to walk the 60 feet. So they dragged the tents down to where they could park their cars. And then about 2 months ago, we had another big rainstorm of about 20 inches in 8 hours. And all of that stuff got washed away. So they had no place to put them. And so we have them in the basement. So I'm like the caretaker.
Uh-huh.
So.
I see. So they actually should be glad to have you?
Well, the people, my fellows who I co-created this place with. Oh yeah, no, everyone. I mean, come on, you were here. You saw how everyone treats me in the hood. So tell them every place we went, what happened.
Well, They know you. This guy did a great job introducing you to the people that school. Is he a superior? Is he like a principal or what?
Yeah, he was principal. Yeah.
And also basketball coach, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And basketball phenom. When he was like young, he was like it.
Yeah, so he did a good job introducing you to people. So
Yeah.
you're welcome everywhere. That's a good thing, man.
And tell him about the fancy restaurant we went in. And I was wearing your bling.
The blimp, well, the blimp has to be seen to be believed because I cannot describe the blimp, man. It's the biggest gold chain you've ever seen in your life. And we were pimp, meaning, we were pro, baby.
So we went to this really fancy Italian restaurant, and the lady who owns it came in and like took care of us.
Yeah, or you're like a VIP, right?
Yeah, right.
With that kind of a blimp, that blimp thing, that's something. Opens a lot of doors.
But
I didn't. Nothing to us, huh?
I only put that on. We were walking from the car through the parking lot, and he was wearing the gold chain. I said, "Here, let me have that."
Yeah, man, we are like mafia. They come to us. We don't go to mafia. They come to us.
Right. Oh, we're OGs.
Yeah. So, is the place where you're at? It's warm, of course, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, man. So that's pretty cozy.
Oh no, I'm fine being here. You know, my body doesn't like walking or lying on concrete, but it sure likes being warm. You know, so.
What are you having lunch right now?
Yeah, I've been. So we have a lot of canned food, right? A lot of processed food. So before the snow came, I went to whatchamacallit, Food Line, and they do a nice job in that they have vegetables and stuff, and just before they throw them out, they put them over to the side where it's super cheap. That thing of Colliards cost $3 when it was really great, and then just before they throw it out, they sell it for like 25 cents. So
beautiful, perfect,
beautiful. So I bought like a box. I said, "You got a box of this stuff?" And the guy knows me. He goes, "Yeah, here, you can have it." Right. So that's what I do. I take my scissors and I cut up the Colliards, and then I mix it with the pork and beans or the whatever. Right. And I also have oatmeal. Instead of rice, I have oatmeal and grits. So my meal is usually, potatoes, mixed vegetables from a can, and the greens, the fresh greens, and the oatmeal and the grits. And so I cook it up in the microwave. We haven't really got the kitchen together because the county, in that interim between, we're going to get it, no, we're not going to get it, you're going to get it, no, they basically took everything out of here, which was a good thing and a bad thing. Meaning if they kept all the stuff that had been here, we wouldn't have been able to do what we did, right? So that was a good thing. They tried to take the kitchen out, but it was like 1940s stoves and shit like that. And they unbolted them from the ground and dragged them like 3 or 4 feet and said, "Fuck this," and left it all there. So I haven't really been able to put the kitchen back together. But we are. We're gonna open the kitchen and have like fish fries on Wednesday and Friday. Another kind of big meal on Saturday, and have music. So that's one of the things we're going to do. We're also going to have a medical center here, and we're also going to have a computer lab to teach people how to use computers and to use the computers. And we're also going to have a drug rehab. And we're going to basically have a place where kids, when they come back from school, they can come here, and there'll be people who'll be able to help them with their homework and stuff like that. And while their parents are still working, so the kids just won't go home and get into trouble, right? So that's
nice.
Yeah. So that's so instead of a handout, because right now all we're doing is giving people a handout, and so And pretty much all the white folk, the white poor folk, have totally maxed out on everything we could give them, right? And now, they go, oh, you need to bring this stuff to us. No, screw that. If you can't come and get it, you forget about it. So we reached out to the Hispanic community, and people really don't realize how many Hispanic people there are. And so for the last month or two, we've had a ton of Hispanic folk. And, so when it got really cold, we had a tractor trailer, those kind of plushy, not a big blanket, but kind of one you throw on yourself when you're sitting in a chair, like a throw. I guess they call them throws. We had like thousands of those. So when these people come in, and we had like thousands of, and these were all brand new, not like somebody used them and then gave them to us, brand new. So the last, few weeks, especially on the weekend when these folks come, and they come and get a ton of baby stuff and ton of canned food, and then I started just, every time someone would leave, I would put one of these things over their shoulders and put a hat on their head, so the throw would be like a cape, right, and being held on their head by that, and then put a scarf around their neck. And they look at that and just can't believe that I did it. And we had this one big, gigantic thing of jackets. And they were guys' jackets, but really small. So no guy could. So every woman who came in, I gave them a really nice hoodie jacket. Right? And they just can't freaking believe that we do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we try not to make them feel like the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the white people, no matter what their socioeconomic thing is, they have an entitled nature, right? You owe us, you owe me to give me this shit, right?
Really?
Oh yes.
Oh, AKs on the mural?
You haven't noticed this about white Americans, that they feel entitled?
Uh-huh.
I mean, come on, you live in a big city.
Oh yeah. I live on the borderline between Evanston and Chicago. In Evanston, it's all white all the time. and there's a big difference. You can feel it, man. So sometimes I go there to the beach, and it's way different. Even the beach is very organized. It's all games have to be organized, have to be all kosher and halal. There's no spontaneity, man.
Right.
So I go,
and
even though it's very close, so I go to Chicago.
So that beach, would you say that is?
I live now, since we changed the little subject, let me tell you,
Mm-hmm.
I live on the weirdest, the strangest, the craziest beach the world has ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm a beach person. I'm a Cancer in the horoscope, and I'm a beach person. I've been to the beaches my entire life. But this one here is different, man. This one is close to Boys Town. It's called Hollywood Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And you see stuff, man. I mean, you see stuff that I cannot even say, even me. Well, I could, but that's...
Why is every place that is called Hollywood that way? Like in Florida, right next to South Beach is Hollywood.
I don't know, man. It's a good question.
And if you go to California, Hollywood is just like that, right?
Huh?
I said, if you go to California, Hollywood is just like that.
Uh-huh.
So what do you think about, have you been in California when the fires were raging?
No, I was not there. Never when the fire. I used to live there, but never. Man, that looks like the end of the world is coming, right?
I think someone is setting these fires.
Really?
Right, because the houses that are burning are the super rich people's houses, not the poor people's houses.
But didn't they catch a guy, one homeless guy? He was trying to sell, but it was after. I mean, not before that, but after the fire, they caught a guy trying to do that.
I have a feeling that it's more
organized.
Yes, not some individual whack job. That because a lot of these fires are burning so freaking hot and are coming immediately. Like the thing that happened in Hawaii, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, that whole 6 square miles was incinerated in less than 3 hours. And on either side were, it was right on the beach. And on one side of that 6 miles was a whole bunch of fancy corporate hotels, people on the beach in their bikinis having drinks with little umbrellas in it. And on the other side, same thing. And they say, oh, this fire was caused by a hurricane. Well, there were 250,000 people on either side of where this place burned down, and they didn't leave the beach. They didn't even know what was happening.
Mhm.
So, and it burnt so hot, so fast, the one in Hawaii. And the ones that were up last summer in Canada, did you get any of the smoke from the Canadian
We
fire?
did.
Right.
We did.
So, forest fire,
Hello,
normally,
young man.
hmm?
Are you my twin brother? This guy looks like me, and I feel bad for him.
I know,
feel
I was
bad
going to
for him
say
because
that.
Looks like me.
Right.
Walaikum assalam. He's messing with me, but hello, young man. He's messing with me too. Why am I messing with you? Hold on. Why am I messing with you? You said salam, but how do you know that I'm Muslim? I'm just guessing. You're just guessing because I'm close to mosque. I have a sense in my heart. Fair enough, man. Okay. I was just born on mom, but how are you doing? I don't know. You didn't say it, so you didn't say it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, man. He told us that. Can you give me a hug, man? Yeah. Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year. If I see next time, we'll drink some coffee. Okay. Fair enough. I want your coffee, though. No problem. No problem. Where are you from? Bosnia. Oh, Bosnia. Oh, yeah, you got good coffee there, boss. Turkish coffee. Yeah. We make it with a sludge. It's like, like a morning sludge.
Morning sludge.
I just had 2 cups, so I'm going good. You're good. Hey, see you next time. Walaikum salam. Oh, this guy's funny, man. I think I've seen him before, this guy. He has been around about 95 years or so. It's almost like me. Anyhow, some cool guy. So he thought that he was, because of my accent, there's a mask close, so he assumed that I'm Muslim. I said, hey, it's a good bet, man.
It's a good bet. So you should have wrangled him. You should have interviewed him for the show that you're on right now.
Oh my God! I don't think like it's good. But I told him next time we'll drink some coffee, man. He seems to be a nice fellow. Somebody raised to know.
Yep.
He looks almost like me with a white beard. It's cool. Maybe I should go ask his number. Hold on, I go ask his number.
Tell him, ask him a few questions. Say, if he wants to be interviewed on the show.
No, you think it will be? You think it will be proper?
Well, yeah. Go over and ask him.
I don't know, man. Hold on, let me ask his number. If he wants to give me his number.
No. Right now.
I want to do it for. Sir, can I get your number, man? Yeah. He says, okay, man. Oh, this guy is cool. Let's have. Let me get his number. I'm on YouTube with some guy. He has a YouTube channel. So we are talking. He says, ask the guy a few questions. I don't know. Go ahead. Well, let me see.
Put him on the phone. Let me ask him the questions. You still there? Dave.
Can I smash up the car? He has all the bases covered. You heard that? I got a lot of benefits going on. Yeah. He says the car keeps forgiving. Yeah, I'm a little. I can lose a little something here. So anyhow, if you live in Chicago, it's like a free gym membership. I have friends. I've lost touch with them, but they live in the apartment above us, and they were from Bosnia, and he saved a lot of lives from the during the Holocaust that was going on over there. Let's not, because I'll start crying, and I'm like, I shouldn't have brought it. It's okay, it's all good, man. But I mean, if he was involved in protesting here back in the day, and he was a real gentleman. He was a hero, and wow. He tell me about his kids. He never spoke any English, and he's still around. I don't know where they moved to, but he had young children. They moved upstairs, and we learned to love them, man. They were great. It was the best time. They never locked their door. I don't know why. Because look, I lived here before I got married. 10 years, Logan Square. Never locked the door. Never. It's just because where we come from, it's all Oh,
What part of Bosnia are you?
I am close to Croatian border. The place is called Bihać. But I've been here for almost 40 years. It's all back in my mind.
Right.
It's very
So the war was in the early 90s or mid 90s?
early 90s to mid 90s. No, I was here first. I was here before. I could smell it
You
coming.
probably remember Tito and everything. Man.
Oh man, talking about Tito, talking about balls.
He liked Tito. I'm a free capitalist, free market.
Oh, you like that thing, huh?
Yeah, I do. It's the best. It's the best of the world.
Well, it's
the best.
But why do you think I'm here? I'm a greedy motherfucker. Give me two of everything.
You don't have to be greedy. You can be generous and still work hard.
Well, the people call it ambition. Some people, but I call it. Hey, so anyhow, let me get this guy's number, and I have to get them. My wife is calling me, man. Okay.
I'm gonna go.
My name is Mark.
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 Okay.
Mark.
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
Hello.
Yes,
How you doing?
I'm doing great. So where did you grow up, Mark?
I grew up in the western suburbs of Chicago.
Oh, so you're Chicago. You're Chi-Town.
Yeah, I'm from here.
So what do you see happening in the last 20 years in the United States?
Well, good question, because in the last 20 years, I am not happy with a larger government. I want less government, less regulation, more freedom, more free speech. Of course, with technology, I think that's a good thing. But when the government steps in, as during the previous administration and during Obama's administration, when they start restricting free press and they start restricting, or they actually control the mainstream media.
Mark.
But they're restricting when they get Facebook restricting the truth. The government actually, if you watch the latest, I know I saw Zuckerberg's interview. We'll watch Zuckerberg's interview on
Joe Rogan.
Within the past couple of days, he actually told about how they bullied him into restricting free speech.
Mark, I have a
That's
question.
scary.
Mark, did you ever know a guy named George Carlin?
Yes, of course.
Right.
Comedian.
And so what did George Carlin say? He said that we don't live in a free society. We live in a plutocratic corporate state. There's a few people who belong to the club, and we're not in it.
We're not in it. Yeah, that's for sure.
And so, like when they had the Jimmy Carter thing, right? And there was Donald Trump and Obama kidding around, Did you see the video of that? So it really told a story. I keep telling people that everything that we're experiencing, basically since 1492 is scripted.
Like when you're talking Plutarchs, you're talking about a guy like George Soros, right?
No, I'm talking about all of them. I'm talking about, Mark Zuckerberg. I'm talking about Bill Gates. I'm talking about Elon Musk.
The state's attorney's office that didn't prosecute actual criminals.
Well, give me a break.
They were doing writing.
No,
They were destroying small retail businesses. They did not. The guys that got caught did not get prosecuted, or they raised the standard for retail theft from. And this was not legal. This was not a law. This was just the state's attorney doing it from $1,000, from $300 to get a felony to $1,000, and people went nuts. They didn't prosecute people with felonies. And this is a George Soros left-wing socialist.
Yeah, but George Soros is part of Mark.
Your opinion of that guy.
Mark. There's a great book called None Dare Call It Conspiracy.
No, please. You asked me questions. I just asked you one.
Right.
What do you think of George Soros financing the destruction of our social system by allowing criminals to create criminal acts? What do you think of that?
Well, he is just another one of the criminals. Meaning it's not all done by George Soros. And you have to realize where George Soros came from.
Who else financed the state's attorneys who did not prosecute actual criminals?
Basically a good example is Elon Musk.
No, he did not do that. He's the opposite of that.
No, Elon Musk.
Did not finance state's attorneys who led.
What did Elon Musk? When he went on X and told all the congressmen, do what I say, or I'm going to get you in make sure that you don't get voted in.
That's exactly what the Democrats did. They financed.
But Mark,
anybody who
Mark,
did not vote with them-
you're not realizing
Did
that.
not vote with them, and these things they financed people to run against them.
But
who were
Mark,
their way.
but
I know
Mark.
a judge who was an excellent judge, and
Yeah.
the lefties got him out.
Right,
Because
good.
he
But see,
he
the
didn't
thing is,
judge
Mark,
their way.
it's
So I know,
it doesn't. Like I said,
I'm
when
not- if you go ahead, be a leftist, you're cool, and I'm not your enemy.
no, I know you're not.
I'm for free speech.
You're my brother, and I
That's
love you,
correct.
right? And so, but what I'm trying to
I want
say,
peace. I want people to stop dying in the Middle East. I want people to stop dying in Russia.
I want
want
people to
divorce
stop
and-
dying in Chicago. You know, it's like the same thing. It's a war zone everywhere, and the people who are
Probably they're not putting people in jail that belong in jail.
well,
Okay, and they're using nobody to be prosecuted because of their race, religion, or color of their skin,
that's
or
for
whoever
sure.
they sleep with, and nobody should be given a break. Nobody should be excluded from prosecution because of those reasons.
But don't you
And
understand?
that's what they did.
The word justice means just us. I mean, I worked in the corporate world for 40 years as a negotiator, right? And basically, there is no left or right. There's only one color, and that's green. Like I said, it's a small club, and
Well,
one.
people need to decide how hard they're going to work and what they're going to work for.
But the real deal, I mean, if you
People
want to,
should not be taxed out of their residence.
right?
Is what they're
Oh no,
doing
that's
here.
for sure.
That's called big government greed.
So what about
Okay.
the
So,
the
if I
tax?
decide how much I spend and on what.
Right. I don't spend,
That's why this is-
the thing I don't understand people, I live on $400 a month because I used to make a lot of money in the corporate world. And then I died and then I came back and I realized I had to give everything away, and which I did. And I live on $400 a month.
Very good.
Right.
It's hard to do.
No.
That's a story in itself, how you do that.
Well, you know how you do that? You don't spend money. I don't have a credit card.
Wow.
you know?
Listen, man, this will go far. I need to get home, man.
Okay. I just,
Let me.
I'll tell you what, I'd rather be independent. If I see you in the alley again, I'd rather not give you information, okay?
the whole thing about everything is that we just have to be responsible for ourselves, and we have to be kind to everyone we come in
Be
contact.
kind.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, sir.
Those two things:
I-
responsible for ourselves.
I'm sure
and-
of that.
and
Oh,
be-
anyhow, listen. Let me get going. I have to get home, man.
Okay,
My
get-
wife-
get back to the
Lower
queen.
taxes and be kind.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Thank you, sir.
guys. So listen.
Yes.
I have to, because I have to still steal stuff at the store and this and that. And
Okay.
Get home. Man.
No
Because
problem.
Okay, I know. It's going to get hard.
I'll talk to you next. I'll talk to you later in the week.
Go ahead. Say again.
I said I'll talk to you later in the week.
No, listen, man. I still have time, but I can walk. But he was cleaning his thing, and so.
Yeah, that was
I
great.
can walk.
That was great. That's exactly what I wanted.
Okay, so we asked him a few questions. That's about it.
Yep.
So anyhow, listen. How long is your program already going on? Hour and a half?
Oh, let's see, 58 minutes.
Oh, 58, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyhow, at first he was willing to give me his number, then he saw who I'm with, and he changed his mind. He's one of those, man.
Yeah.
One of those. It's all Soros, man. I'm telling you, it's all Soros and Obama.
Right.
Those people.
Right. It's no one person. It's a crew.
No, but his people cannot be blamed.
I know exactly.
That's man. Those people those are the ugliest.
Well, it's sad because look, he's a really nice guy. He's a really good guy, right?
Yeah.
And once he got into the Kool-Aid, there was no stopping him, right? And there was no real, basic thing. He basically, commandeered the conversation, and basically, I could still touch him by saying, "Listen, the only thing you got to do is be responsible and be kind," and he could relate to that. See, that's in my skill set. I can always find that thing that people can relate. That I can relate to them, and they can relate to me, no matter what.
This is ugly.
I know.
This is fucking ugly. he just sees one side of the coins and
Yep.
the coin, and he
Yep.
sold out the guy's false.
Right. And he doesn't
Oh,
realize that it's
Well, he cannot understand what you're saying, that they all sold the same. It's
Right,
all the-
right.
They're all following the script.
Yep, they're all following the script, and it's been that way. See, so you came from scripture or text, right? And then you became American and corrupted,
Yeah, of course.
and so
Morally pliable.
right, morally pliable. No, religious. You're one of the more moral guys I know. You are religiously pliable.
Yeah. I make religion on the fly as I go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, so it's a beautiful day out there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day, man. It's 9 days for a walk. Snowing, and there's no wind, not cold. Beautiful day. Perfect day for a walk.
Yep.
So, listen, do you want me to send you one of those Asian ladies for free massage? It's on me.
Yeah, I could use one on the concrete here, you know.
Yeah. It's on me, man. It's like your birthday present.
And you know, my birthday's coming up quick. I'm going to be 75.
Okay, man. So be kind to every kind. I want to exercise that. And send you one of those girls.
Yes, go be kind.
All right.
Say hi to the queen for me.
Hey, nice talking to you, man. Let's do this sentence again, okay?
Hey, oh yeah. So you're still
All right.
around for a couple
All right.
more
All right.
weeks? Okay. There he goes. Okay, so here we're back. We're back. Did you guys like that? Let's see. Worldwide. Yawn. No time to talk. Dead frog has. Oh. How are you going to saute them or turn it into a soup? The smell of hippie 80s and patchouli. Patchouli is not bad. It's one of my favorite smells. Fish heads. How many shots do you have to take to travel to Vietnam? I'm not quite sure. Because how I traveled back in the day in the 70s and 80s, you know, I went to all these other places through Sweden, right? And because the Swedish paid for my airplane ride, paid for the hotel, paid for the tours, paid for everything. You know? I just had to pretend to be Swedish. And it, you know, it was amazing because I would, you know, go from my friend's house in Forshuga, which was right in the middle between Gothenburg and Stockholm, go to Stockholm Airport. I had a big billboard that basically said, here are all the flights that are being paid by the government. These are the tourist, Swedish tourist things. And go to gate 4 and check in and see if whoever was going to get on the airplane didn't get on the airplane. And so I would, right? And so, oh, maybe I want to go to Greece, right? Maybe I want to go to Paris. Maybe I want to go to Istanbul. Maybe I want to go to, you know, Hanoi. You know, maybe I want to go to, you know, Damascus. Maybe I want to go to, you know, and I did that for almost 2 years, right? And I got myself a Swedish driver's license that looked just like a passport. Gray little book, had my picture in it. And I used to go to foreign countries and they would stamp into the driver's license, right? And they would, you know, it only had 2 pages. And so I had like 50 stamps all over it. And they got, hey, shouldn't there be more pages in here? Well, that's Sweden for you, baby. And so I would go to that thing and pick a place I want to go. They would put my name in there. I'd show them my ID of my driver's license. So I was a resident, showed residence, right? And the other thing I did was my buddy, when I lived there, you know, to pay rent, I paid the electric bill. And the electric bill is the platinum ID card of residency anywhere in the world. So I would always have an electric bill, my driver's license. I would go into that thing and the lady or guy would go, okay, well, where do you want to go? I'd say that place. Okay, that's in 2 hours. And so they would, you know, fill this form. Well, I said, fill out the form for me. They would. I would sign it. They would take down the 2 numbers, you know, my electric bill and that. and then they would give me a visa that came from that. Like if I was going to go to Syria, into Damascus, I would get a tourist visa that I could be there for 6 months. The little toury thing was only for 2 weeks, but I could stay there on that visa for 6 months. Virtually every visa I got was 6 months. And that's how I went and traveled to all these different places. Is that I would go, so I went to Damascus, and then Damascus had relations with, Vietnam. And so since I had this visa, they gave me another visa to go to, that's how I did it. And it was a great little, go see it. Let's see how this looks. Well, I think I'm gonna. Oh, there's Raby still here. So, what do you think of that fun? Ah. Okay, I'm back. Usually curry, dead frogs. Do. So still two of you there. How many? Let's see. Vietnam. Awesome. So anyway, there's three of you now. So here we are. Let's see, a week from this coming Monday, tomorrow. A week from tomorrow, Carrot Head gets sworn in. And what do you think? You heard the man on the street go on about zeros and all of that. And my friend, and he was a good guy. I could tell that energetically he was a good guy, right? And he just it's all George Soros, blah, 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 right? And George Soros is just a penny of the nickel. And the nickel is just that part of the dime, and the dime is that part of the dollar bill. And we're living on the Yankee dollar. So it's going to be fun. And I just want to know your New Year's resolution of how to deal with the New World Order, right? And that we're going to have some serious wars. We're going to have nuclear war in Europe, a nuclear war in the Mideast, and just before, after Israel nukes the Gaza Strip, because that's the only thing they can do. The only thing they can do, in end of this month, in about 15 days, the war in Lebanon will go back because it was a ceasefire for 60 days, and Israel has done none of, they're supposed to be out of Lebanon, but all they did was move in and build fortress motifs. And the thing about everyone's saying, oh, it's a whole different story now that Syria is no longer the highway of bringing arms from Iran to Lebanon and the Gaza Strip. Well, they stood doing it. They're just doing it in a different way. And Israel is, having fun doing what they're doing. And they really have no real concrete idea what the frick they're doing, except digging a hole deeper for themselves and the United States, because if it kicks off there and the United States we have 3 aircraft carriers there, and they're all in, aircraft carrier groups are designed to be out there in the middle of the Pacific, middle of the Atlantic, places where they can kind of hide. I mean, there is no hiding with satellites, but they are in like the Red Sea, the Black Sea, Mediterranean. These are all teeny little things. It takes 30 miles for an aircraft carrier to turn around. And, they're in places where they can't turn around. They're going to get, stuck in a box. And then those Houthis, they've been shooting missiles and making a muss for the last 30 years. And we have been bombing the crap out of them for 30 years. That doesn't seem to matter. They just keep, and they have hypersonic missiles, things that Israel can't shoot down. So it's all going to be fun and games. It's all going to be really woo. And I just hope it really doesn't kick off until at least March, until it starts to warm up. Because, if the shit hits the fan like in the next 3 weeks, we will lose electricity within 2 weeks of that. And then that's it. I'll be frozen to death. But what do you think of the crazy weather, right? Woo! Right? And all the other crazy shit, the fires in California, da 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 da. Well, okay, we had this show now 1 hour and 15 minutes and 45 seconds. I am going to close the show. What time is it? Oh, it's 1:30. I'll come back around 3, 4 o'clock, and we'll do it again. Okay. And I'll get another, guest to call somebody else.